Back in the day, my local comic shop published these little digest comics. Got me started in. Let's take a look inside one of them. Hey everyone, it's Tom. It's FANzine Live. We're doing classic zines today. I am going back to 1983. And actually, this is a callback to one of my first videos that I did here at FANzine Live, where I shared the story of Insect Man, a mini comic series, or I guess you would say a digest-sized small press comic. It was published out of That's Entertainment, which is a comic shop in Worcester, Massachusetts. And that is the place where I learned about small press comics, about zines, about DIY ethic of comics, and how really the distance between being a fan and being a comic creator is a lot smaller than one would think. And I learned that, yeah, I could do it myself. And out of that came the stories of heroic heroes past. These are pieces, especially, yes, this was the first one, The Light. That was one of my first comic stories, and I wrote it, and it was drawn by Matt Kanarakis, and we had a great time doing this as teenagers back in the 80s. So very cool. I love the fact that this comic and so many others, because you'll notice this is number 82 of Insect Man's Weird Tales, that so many of these were simply put up at the register, just in a little stand, and they were sold for peanuts. I mean, this is 35 cents, and it is a 16-page digest-sized mini comic, 35 cents. So I don't think that Paul Howley, the owner, was making peanuts on this thing, but what he was doing was he was supporting the community, and he was encouraging people not just to read comics, but to make comics and make them the whole idea of comics as part of their lives. It's such a smart tactic. By building the community within his comic shop, he got repeat customers. He was able to build social connections around his store. It just is brilliant. And I truly wish that every comic shop, every zine shop would do something like this. Have a little in-house imprint. In this case, it was the Insect Man Weird Tales imprint. Let the local talent take a shot at it. Occasionally, maybe put out an anthology or do mini comics like this. This is the stuff that you need to do as a retailer to ensure your ongoing vitality in your community. It's not enough just to sell Spider-Man or Superman. You've got to encourage the creativity, and you've got to encourage the community, which Paul, to his credit, did. And I'm living proof that it worked. So, Insect Man's Weird Tales presents the origin of the Defensors. This is by a gentleman named Peter Fries, who I do not know. And that's the other thing. There were a lot of people who I never met, but I read their work. And it was right there next to American Flag, Love and Rockets, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, X-Men, and everything else. It's a nice looking piece. Fries is a good artist. And the story is pretty good. This is the first of a small series. He's got some nice looking work that he's done, obviously derivative of the superhero genre of the, I almost look at this one as being like cosmic Marvel. If you look at stuff like this, it just screams cosmic Marvel. Or maybe you've got some of the Starfire from the Teen Titans type look there. Did some neat stuff out in space. His spaceships are great. The perspectives are really good. The artwork is pretty light on the shading beyond the black and white. He doesn't do a lot of hatching. I do notice a little bit of zipatone, but not a lot. Bad guy here is, let's see, what do we call his name? It's Dracon is the bad guy. And he's trying to stop the good guys, the defensors, from reaching the planet's surface. And so you get over the course of this fight, you see that the different characters have different powers. Those whose powers do not allow them to survive the rigors of space or aboard a stolen spaceship. But these ones can survive in space. And so you see one with really interesting triangle type designs coming off of her hands. His looks almost like a gear type design. His looks more like the classic laser design. You got somebody who looks maybe like, almost like The Thing or something like that. Of course, they did great. Dracon is not thrilled. You fools, they got past you. Some nice looking fight scenes here. And then Starbolt scans the object of their search, a time travel device. Activates the device. Time peels away with a thunderclap, but just as they begin their journey back, the flaw manifests itself, and for the android Starbolt, the bottom drops out of reality. And look at that. That is really nice looking artwork. And then it says, confused, all will be explained in part 2. Past futures on sale soon. The thing I love about this, classic installment-based cartooning, like a good periodical, keeps the customer coming back. So for 35 cents, after you've picked up your pull list or whatever you have from the comic shop, you grab yourself a copy of Insect Man, which you also can put on your pull list. You can read this story over time, just like anything else. And I've got the whole thing, and maybe over time we'll take a look, but I wanted to share with you a little what Peter Freese did. He actually lived in West Boylston, which is where I lived. Then we have a second story in here by a gentleman, I believe it says here Dan Courtney, and this is again 1983. It's called Worlds Apart. It's a bit of a sci-fi story. The robots, in their effort to serve the people, decided that the best thing they can do is get rid of the people. And so this is about the story of people trying to get back into the community. And it's a future dystopian type thing. I really like the artwork. And in fact, I believe Dan did some work when Paul and That's Entertainment made TE Comics. They did The Man from U.N.C.L.E., they did Delta 10, they did a few others, but I believe there was a book, I want to say it was called like Forever Now, and I think Dan did a cover on that. If I find it, put it right here for you. Dan's art is entirely different than Peter's art. Peter is very, very just straight up line work with no shading. Dan's work is all shading, and it looks to me as if he may have done it with the likes of a single pen, perhaps a ballpoint or something like that. He's got great style. I mean, look at some of this stuff. It's really good. Very heavily shaded, very dark. I mean, his backgrounds are done. Zero zipatone that I can see. I like the panel work here where he has the face all the way through the background, and you can see it going through that border space. So you've got the robot here overlaid. Great stuff. So yeah, Insect Man's Weird Tales, the origin of the Defensors, and we even have a name, Worlds Apart. So Peter Freese and Dan Courtney, very nice work. Folks, I hope you like this. Does your comic shop do self-publishing like this? To the best of my knowledge, I can only think of one shop that does anything close to this, and that's Big Planet Comics down in Washington, D.C. Their stuff is much glossier and much more professional published than this. I honestly don't think you need to go that far. I think stuff like this is even better because it really encourages that DIY ethic of zines. Leave a comment if you're so inclined, like the video, subscribe to FANzine Live, and tell your friends because, maybe even better yet, tell your comic shop owner to watch this video and perhaps get some ideas on how they too can build community in their store. And thank you so much for watching. This is FANzine Live. I'm Tom. I will catch you next time.